illusion and the appearance of things. There is a reality. We are the reality. When you understand this, you see that you are nothing. And being nothing, you are everything. Friends, I'm Nana and I welcome you all on another episode of Dhoom channel. This week, apart from our regular program, we have selected a kind of topic which will bring you enlightenment and heaps of knowledge. A system of life to enlighten you and ignite your mind with acknowledgement. Teachings and thought of a lifestyle known as Buddhism. Today's episode is an insight on a religion whose name Buddha means is to awaken, reflects its aim. To many, Buddhism goes beyond religion and is more of a philosophy or way of life. I will gonna share with you a documentary on Buddhism.
As the centuries rolled past the wheel of time, civilizations and religions evolved and grew, contributing to the enhancement of human understanding. One such religion that originated in India and today propagates the message of compassion throughout the world is Buddhism. In the misty shadows of the past, in 563 BC, was born Siddhartha, prince of the Sakya kingdom in India. At age 29, he renounced his family life and set out to seek a path to the liberation of worldly suffering. After great penance, he attained enlightenment and became the Buddha, the awakened one. The Buddha's enlightenment took place under a peepal tree, also known as a Bodhi tree, in the hamlet of Bodh Gaya. This holy tree of wisdom is an offshoot of the original tree and highly revered by pilgrims the world over. Close to the Bodhi tree is the majestic Mahabodhi temple, which was built on the foundations of a 3rd century BC shrine, originally built by the Emperor Ashoka, at the exact spot where the Buddha sat and attained enlightenment. Beautiful friezes of the Buddha adorn its walls. The temple compound is liberally sprinkled with small stupas and shrines, some dating back to the 7th century AD, and exudes an ambience of peace and tranquility. Here, diverse forms of religious activity coexist in harmony. The temple is also a working Buddhist center, offering lectures and courses in meditation. After attaining enlightenment, the Buddha traveled to Sarnath, where he delivered his first sermon, Dharmachakra Sutta, or Setting in Motion the Wheel of Law. This place of the sermon is the site of the Dharmak Stupa, which pilgrims circumambulate in great devotion. Extensive excavations containing ancient monasteries, shrines, and Ashoka's pillar are maintained within an immaculate park. Sarnath's Bodhi tree is also an offshoot of the tree at Bodh Gaya, colourfully strung with prayer flags, wafting its message of peace. Of the many temples in Sarnath, the Mulaganda Kuti Vihara, built in 1931, draws devotees from world over who come to pray or study Tibetan philosophy in the Central Institute of Tibetan Studies, close by. Set against a pastoral landscape is the hamlet of Kushinagar, where the Buddha died and was cremated, and which marks his final liberation from the cycles of life and rebirth. After Buddha's salvation, his followers were divided into the Theravada and Mahayana schools. The latter's philosophy spread all over Northeast and Southeast Asia. Today, Mahayana Buddhism is practiced in India, in Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh and Ladakh.
What is so special about it? We will share after the break. A statue of the Buddha with hands rested gently in its lap and a compassionate smile reminds us to strive to develop peace. Welcome back, friends, after the break. Let's share some more experiences about Buddhism. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. If a man speaks or acts with an evil thought, pain follows him. If a man speaks or acts with a pure thought, happiness follows him, like a shadow that never leaves him. A statue of the Buddha with hands rested gently in its lap and a compassionate smile reminds us to strive to develop peace and love within ourselves. Bowing to this statue is an expression of gratitude for the teaching. I will gonna share with you a documentary on Buddhism.
Ladakh, the Indian Shangri-La, is peppered with quaint monasteries, prayer flags, chortens, prayer wheels, and thronged by people practicing Buddhism as a way of life. The capital Leh, situated in the Indus Valley, was a trading post on the old Silk Route and is a starting off point for visits to the famous monasteries in the area. The Hemisgompa is well known for its summer festival, held here annually in honor of the great teacher, Guru Padmasambhava, who brought Buddhism to this region. The lamas perform the charm, or the mask dance, to enact myths and stories of religious significance. Southeast of Ladakh, at almost the end of the Himalayan range, is the Indian state of Sikkim, sandwiched between Nepal, Tibet and Bhutan. Its deep valleys, lofty snow peaks and tranquil settings are home to over 250 monasteries, mostly belonging to the Nyingmapa sect of the Mahayana school. The most famous monastery here is Rumtek, which houses the black hats of the Karmapa branch of Tibetan Buddhism and is splendidly decorated with murals and tankas. Further east of Sikkim is Arunachal Pradesh, the land of dawn-lit mountains and perhaps the last unspoilt wilderness in India. It is home to the town of Tawang, whose monastery is the largest monastery of the Mahayana sect in Asia. Tawang was established in the 17th century and has a renowned collection of tankas and manuscripts. Back in the northern Himalayas, in Dharamshala, in Himachal Pradesh, is the home of the Dalai Lama and a large Tibetan exile community. Most Tibetans now live in MacLeod Ganj, which is a living replica of a Tibetan town. There are temples, monasteries, nunneries and meditation centers, all providing for a relaxed and friendly atmosphere. The most famous monastery here is the Namgyal Monastery. The courtyard here attracts monks who often engage in philosophical debate with each other. Suglaka Kang, or the Central Chapel, built by the Dalai Lama, resounds to sacred chants. It houses some important Buddhist images, such as Sakyamuni, Guru Padmasambhava, and Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. The stark valleys of Spiti are another outpost of Buddhism influenced by Tibet. Breathtaking natural landscape, scenic villages and monasteries make for exciting jeep safaris and treks. The 1,000-year-old Tabo Monastery is the most important one here. This is where the Dalai Lama will probably retire. This monastery shelters some of the best preserved Indo-Tibetan art and manuscripts remaining today. Other important Buddhist sites in India are Sravasti, where the Buddha spent almost 25 years at the Jetavana Monastery. Rajgir, where he initiated King Bimbisara to Buddhism, and also where he set in motion his second wheel of law. Nalanda, the great monastic Buddhist university, which reveals the strength of Buddhist civilization. And Ajanta, with its 26 caves, a storehouse of some of the world's greatest Buddhist art treasures. The Buddhist faith, practiced in all its splendor, in an unbroken continuum of time, from the era of the Buddha, can only be experienced in India. Come to India and be one with the jewel in the lotus.
Don't go away, there is more to come. From all the symbols involved in Buddhist religion, lotus play one of the most important roles. Back friends, after the break, let's share some more experiences about Buddhism. A bhikkhu or bhikshu is an ordained male Buddhist monastic. A female monastic is called bhikkhuni. The life of bhikkhus and bhikkhunis is governed by a set of rules called the Patimokha within the Vinaya framework of monastic discipline. Bhikkhu may be literally translated as beggar or more broadly as one who lives by alms. From all the symbols involved in Buddhist religion, lotus play one of the most important roles. The lotus is one of the 8 auspicious symbols and one of the most poignant representation of Buddhist teaching. The roots of a lotus are in the mud. The stem grows up through the water, and the heavily scented flower lies pristinely above the water, basking in the sunlight. This pattern of growth signifies the progress of the soul from the primeval mud of materialism through the water of experience and into the bright sunshine of enlightenment. Though there are other water plants that bloom above the water, it is only the lotus which, owing to the strength of its stem, regularly rises 8 to 12 inches above the surface. Every important Buddhist deity is associated in some manner with the lotus, either being seated upon a lotus in a full bloom or holding one in their hands. In some images of standing Buddha, each foot rests on a separate lotus. The lotus does not grow in Tibet, so Tibetan art has only stylized versions of it. Yet it appears frequently with Tibetan deities and among the 8 auspicious symbols. The color of the lotus has an important bearing on the symbology associated with it. White lotus. This represents the state of spiritual perfection and total mental purity. It is associated with the white Tara and proclaim her perfect nature, a quality which is reinforced by the color of the body. Pink lotus. This, the supreme lotus, generally reserved for the highest deity. Thus, naturally it is associated with the great Buddha himself. Red lotus. This signifies the original nature and purity of the heart. It is the lotus of love, compassion, passion, and all other qualities of the heart. It is the flower of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddhist tattva of compassion. Blue lotus. This is a symbol of the victory of the spirit over the senses and signifies the wisdom of knowledge. Not surprisingly, it is the preferred flower of Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared.
Saranam gacchami dhammam saranam gacchami sangham saranam gacchami Saranam Sangham Saranam
with Buddhism. Nothing is lost in the universe. The first truth is that nothing is lost in the universe. Matter turns into energy, energy turns into matter. A dead leaf turns into soil. A seed sprouts and becomes a new plant. All solar systems disintegrate and turns into cosmic rays. We are born of our parents. Our children are born of us. We are the same as plants, as trees, as other people, as the rain that falls. We consist of that which is around us. We are the same as everything. If we destroy something around us, we destroy ourselves. If we cheat another, we cheat ourselves. Second is, everything changes. The second universal truth of the Buddha is that everything is continuously changing. Life is like a river flowing on, ever changing. Sometimes it flows slowly and sometimes swiftly. It is smooth and gentle in some places, but later on, snags and rocks crop up out of nowhere. As soon as we think we are safe, something unexpected happens. The third universal truth explained by the Buddha is that there is continuous changes due to the law of cause and effect. This is the same law of cause and effect found in every modern text. The law of cause and effect is known as karma. Nothing ever happens to us unless we deserve it. We receive exactly what we earn, whether it is good or bad. We are the way we are now due to the things we have done in the past. Our thoughts and actions determine the kind of life we can have. If we do good things in the future, good things will happen to us. If we do bad things in the future, bad things will happen to us. Every moment we create new karma by what we say, do and think. If we understand this, we do not need to fear karma.
Saranam gacchami Sangham Saranam gacchami
So friends, this was our presentation for today. If you got any questions, you can email us. See you next week.